He called me and he told me that someone just shot my nephew over a noise complaint.
Greg's son had to watch his father get murdered.
Yes.
Tonight, a father and a veteran. Loved ones say a gunman killed him today over a noise complaint.
The 42-year-old father of 6, an Army veteran, was shot and killed inside his apartment near 94th and Carmen Wednesday morning.
Look at this. You can still see the lone bullet hole in the wall here. This is where we're told the shooting occurred. Family tells us that the victim's teenage son had to watch his father lose his life today.
Family members have identified the man killed as Greg Mcelwee, and they say that he was a kind and loving man and someone that was taken far too soon.
He was always smiling, always happy, and always trying to help people. My nephew did tell me that it was pretty quiet in their apartment, and they were caught off guard by someone complaining about some noise.
We like to believe that our homes are our sanctuaries, places where the chaos of the outside world stops the moment we turn the deadbolt. We establish routines, we raise our families, and we live under the assumption that a simple knocking on the door is nothing more than a delivery, a neighborly greeting, or a minor request. But on Wednesday morning, May 27, 2026, in a quiet residential pocket of northwest Milwaukee, that illusion of absolute safety was shattered in a matter of seconds. It started with a complaint, something as common and mundane as a dispute over loud music, a neighborly grievance that should have ended with an apology, a turned-down volume knob, or at worst, a call to property management. Instead, it triggered a fast-moving, multi-city catastrophe that ended with a mangled vehicle 5 miles away, an Army veteran dead, and a 13-year-old boy fighting for his own life.
One person is dead and a man is in custody after a shooting and a police chase and crash in Milwaukee. Police say the shooting happened just before 10 this morning near 94th and Carmen. The victim's family says 42-year-old Greg Mcelwee Jr. was killed. They say it was all over a noise complaint.
Welcome to the Dark Minds. Today, we are pulling back the layers on the tragic sequence of events at 94th and Carmen to uncover exactly what led to a fatal confrontation on a random weekday morning, and the staggering survival instincts of a young teenager who witnessed the unthinkable. If you want to follow this case as the formal court records and investigative files are unsealed over the coming days, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's look at the timeline. To understand the gravity of what was lost at 94th and Carmen, you have to look past the crime scene tape and meet the man who lived behind the door of that apartment. His name was Greg Mcelwee. He was 42 years old. Greg was a man who understood the concept of duty. He was a United States Army veteran, someone who had signed up to put his life on the line, navigating the highly structured, high-stakes environments of military service. He survived the rigors of that life and returned home to Milwaukee to focus on his most critical mission yet, being a father. For his 13-year-old son, Greg wasn't just a dad, he was his entire world. As a single father and the boy's sole legal guardian, Greg was the anchor. He provided the stability, the protection, and the daily structure. It was a quiet, dedicated life built around a simple truth. It was the two of them against the world. Having survived a career in the military, Greg Mcelwee had likely faced his share of dangerous, unpredictable situations. But nothing in his training and nothing in his civilian life could have prepared him for the random, volatile threat that was living just down the hall. Because by 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning, an ordinary neighbor dispute was about to bring that threat directly to his front door. It's exactly 10 a.m. Inside the apartment, it's a standard weekday morning. Greg Mcelwee and his 13-year-old son are going about their day when the aggressive knocking begins. Greg walks to the door and opens it. Standing on the other side is a 29-year-old neighbor. He hasn't come to chat. He has come to confront Greg over a noise complaint. According to family members who later spoke with investigators, a verbal argument sparks immediately. The suspect is highly agitated, escalating the tension with every passing second. Greg, a veteran used to assessing threats, quickly realizes this isn't a rational conversation. He decides to de-escalate the only way he can, by ending the encounter and closing the door. But the suspect doesn't let him walk away. Before the heavy wood door can latch, the 29-year-old pulls a firearm, levels it, and fires 2 rounds directly into Greg's chest. In a fraction of a second, the anchor of the household is gone. Greg Mcelwee collapses in his own entryway. The gunman is still standing in the threshold, weapon in hand, looking into the apartment. And right there, just a few feet away, is a 13-year-old boy. In the immediate aftermath of extreme violence, there is a phenomenon known as the freeze response. The brain, overloaded by trauma, locks the body in place. For a 13-year-old child watching his father and sole protector get gunned down inches away, freezing would be the expected human reaction. But Greg Mcelwee's son didn't freeze. In a moment of sheer terror, with the firearm still warm and the suspect standing right in the doorway, a survival instinct took over that defied his age. Before the gunman could process what was happening, the teenager lunged forward. Catching the 29-year-old completely off guard, the boy forcefully shoved the shooter backward out into the sterile hallway, slammed the heavy door, and threw the lock. It was a split-second maneuver that family members later credited with saving the boy's life. By instantly cutting off the killer's access to the apartment, the teen prevented a double homicide. Standing alone in the quiet apartment with his fallen father, he picked up his phone and dialed 911.
Dawkins says Greg's 13-year-old son witnessed the shooting.
There was a knock on the door, and he heard somebody complaining about noise. But there was no noise coming from their apartment. Their apartment was quiet. My nephew answered the door, and they were talking. And I guess it was escalating, and my nephew didn't want to talk to the guy anymore or something. And he fired 2 shots into his chest.
Dawkins says the teenager pushed the suspect out of the apartment and called 911, a move that could have saved his life.
He said he did it so fast, he caught the guy off guard. So by the time he could respond, he had the door closed and locked.
Greg's son, a survivor, but now forced to live the rest of his life without his biggest supporter.
The boy had secured the perimeter. He had survived the immediate threat. But outside the walls of the apartment building at 94th and Carmen, the killer was already moving to his next destination, and a multi-city manhunt was about to ignite. By 10:15 a.m., less than 15 minutes after the fatal shots were fired at 94th and Carmen, the neighborhood is flooded with Milwaukee police cruisers. But the 29-year-old gunman is already gone. He's behind the wheel of a black Audi sedan, tearing away from the scene in a desperate bid to escape the consequences of a routine noise complaint. He doesn't get far before an MPD unit spots the vehicle. The moment the emergency lights go on, the suspect hits the accelerator. What follows is a frantic, high-speed pursuit that spans 5 miles across city lines, pushing through intersections and weaving wildly through mid-morning traffic. The chase tears out of Milwaukee and into the neighboring city of Wauwatosa. The suspect is driving with absolute disregard for anyone else on the road, running out of options and running out of track. At the intersection of 124th Street and Capitol Drive, the pursuit comes to a violent, definitive halt. The suspect loses control, crashing the Audi heavily into a concrete wall. The vehicle is completely destroyed, pinned against the stone, and within seconds, the wreckage is surrounded by law enforcement. Before the smoke can even clear from the wreckage at 124th and Capitol Drive, officers surge forward. The 29-year-old suspect is pulled from the mangled driver's seat, pinned to the pavement, and placed in handcuffs. The chase is over. The immediate threat is neutralized.
Police say the shooting sparked a chase that ended with a crash near 124th and Capitol.
Police say the suspect took off, leading officers on a chase that ended when a car crashed near 124th and Capitol. Investigators say a 29-year-old man was arrested.
Wauwatosa traffic cameras near 124th and Capitol Drive show the frantic end of a Wednesday morning police chase and crash. Officers yank a 29-year-old out of a black Audi, the sedan sitting mangled against a wall.
But as the suspect is loaded into a transport vehicle to face formal homicide charges from the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office, the focus of this tragedy shifts back to where it all began. Back at the apartment complex, the reality of the morning's events begins to settle over a grieving family. Greg Mcelwee's uncle, Patrick Dawkins, is left with the agonizing task of shielding a 13-year-old boy whose entire world was taken in a single, senseless moment. How do you comfort a child who has just lost his sole guardian?
I get a call from his son, and he informs me that his father was just killed in front of him. He tried to resuscitate him. What a senseless killing. Such a waste of a good life. It's going to be hard for his son making an adjustment I know his life's never going to be the same again.
The following evening, the community gathered right here in this parking lot, releasing balloons into the Milwaukee sky to honor the life of a dedicated father and a U.S. Army veteran. A man who survived the military, only to be stolen by a neighbor's unhinged reaction to a noise complaint. As the formal criminal complaint is unsealed in the coming days, we will finally learn the name of the 29-year-old shooter, his background, and whether there was a hidden history between these two neighbors before the trigger was pulled.
He's pretty much all he's known all his life. What do you say to a child who's lost his only guardian?
What do you think is the true cost of our silence? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.